Welcome back to my channel. In the last video, I showed you how you can install Kali NetHunter on your mobile device and run the Kali Linux desktop directly on your phone. I also told you that in the next video, I would explain phantom process killing. This problem is usually seen on Android 12 Plus devices. First of all, let's understand what phantom process killer actually is. I will go to my mobile device where I installed Kali NetHunter in the previous video. Now I will open the Termux app, and here I will start the NetHunter KeX server, which means the Kali Linux VNC server. Now I will open the NetHunter KeX client from the apps and connect the Kali Linux GUI. And as you can see, my KeX client has started and Kali Linux is running on my mobile. But after about 5 to 10 seconds, it gets disconnected and a connection failed error appears. Now if I open Termux again, I can see the following error. Process completed. Signal 9, press enter. And as soon as I press enter, Termux automatically closes. This happens because Android devices have a function that manages background processes. The purpose of this function is that if heavy apps are running in the background, such as Termux or any application that uses a lot of CPU, Android automatically closes them. In some devices, this option is often available in developer options, where we can turn it on or off. But in many other devices, this option is not available manually, so we cannot directly enable or disable it. So today I will show you how to reconfigure this setting using ADB debugging. So without wasting time, let's move towards the video. Welcome to my channel, Technichio. To run ADB commands, it is necessary that we have a computer system through which we can send commands. So I will go to my computer and open command prompt with administrator privileges. After opening it, if I type the command ADB devices, I will get an error. ADB is not recognized as an internal or external command. This means that SDK Platform Tools are not configured on my system yet. SDK stands for Software Development Kit. These are the tools through which you can send commands from your computer to your Android device and change Android configurations. So in this video, I will also show you how to set the SDK Platform Tools path. First, we will open the Chrome browser and search for SDK Platform Tools for Windows. From the search results, we will open the first website, which belongs to Android developers. After scrolling down the page, we will find the option Download SDK Platform Tools for Windows. We will click on it, accept the terms and conditions, and start the download. After the download is complete, we will extract the zip file and copy the Platform Tools folder from the extracted files. Then we will paste it into the C drive. If you want, you can paste it directly into the C drive, but I will create a folder named Android and paste it there. Then I will open it and copy its path from the address bar. Now I will search for environment variables and open Edit Environmental Variables. Then I will open the Environment Variables tab, and from System Variables, I will edit the path variable. Here I will add a new entry, paste the Platform Tools path, press Enter, and then click OK on all the tabs. Before connecting the mobile device to the system, we need to turn on USB debugging on our mobile. So I will go to Settings, then open the About section. After that, I will go to Software Information and tap on the build number 7 to 10 times. A message will appear saying, "You are now a developer," which means the developer mode has been enabled. Now I will go back and open the System section, where we will find Developer Options at the bottom. After opening it, I will turn on USB debugging from there. Now I will connect my mobile device to the computer system and change the USB connection settings to MIDI or PTP because USB debugging can only work with these two options. After this, if I open command prompt again and run the command ADB devices, you can see that my mobile device now appears in the list. So this is how you can set SDK Tools on your system. Sometimes the first time it shows unauthorized. In that case, a USB debugging allow prompt appears on the mobile screen. I will select Always Allow from this computer and click Allow. Now if I run the command again, ADB devices, you can see that my device is now properly connected. Now to reconfigure the phantom process killer, I have prepared a PDF containing the required commands. So I will open File Explorer and open that PDF file. The link to this PDF is also available in the video description. Here you can see that I have also written details about Phantom Process Killer, and below that I have provided the commands through which we can change the Phantom Process Killer value and then freeze that value. If I copy the command from here and paste it into CMD, I get a bad arguments error. The reason for this error is that when I converted the document into PDF, the spaces were converted into new lines. This means the command that should be in one line was split into two lines. To solve this problem, I will open Notepad and paste the command there. Here you can see that the remaining command appears on the next line, while it should actually be on the same line as the first command. So I will press backspace, remove the extra line break, and add a space instead. Now the complete command is in one line. Now I will select the entire command, copy it, and paste it into CMD, then press Enter. If no error or message appears, it means that Android has successfully accepted the command, and the Phantom Process Killer value has now changed from 32 to a larger value. Now we need to freeze this configuration so that Android cannot reset it back to the default value of 32. For this purpose, I have also provided another command below in the PDF. I will copy that command as well, paste it into Notepad, remove the line break, and add a space. Then I will copy the entire command again and paste it into CMD and press Enter. After pressing Enter, Android accepts the command, and now the configuration has been successfully frozen. But remember one important thing. If you plan to update your Android system, you must unfreeze the configuration first, so that the default Android value can be applied again and no glitch or error occurs during the system update. I have also mentioned the unfreeze command in the PDF below. Now I will go back to my mobile device and open Termux again. I will start the KeX server again. After the server starts, I will open the NetHunter KeX client and connect to it. Now you can see that the Kali Linux desktop has successfully connected on my mobile, and this time it is not disconnecting. Now I can run it for as long as I want, because the value we set is large enough that even if you run it the entire day, it will not disconnect. If you want, you can also disconnect it and connect again. So this is how you can reconfigure the Phantom Process Killer configuration and fix the Kali Linux disconnection problem. In the next video, I will show you how you can install and run Android apps on Windows. So don't miss my next video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Technichio, and hit the bell icon so that you'll never miss an update from our channel. Together, let's end tech tantrums. Thank you.